let's get one thing straight. This was inevitable. This was bound to happen. Diggity couldn't stop it. Tirano couldn't stop it. And sure as hell, Mr. Rivera couldn't stop it.
What up? Welcome back to the Necro Zoo. I am Bones. And in this one, let's go ahead and add one more figure to my McFarlane DC Multiverse collection. Now, interesting story. Before we get into the figure, I did order a Dr. Fate and the Hot Pursuit Flash from GameStop. Interestingly enough, the box came in, and when I opened it, they actually sent me the Platinum Edition of the Dr. Fate, which is like a more blue costume. Now, it was a big surprise to me. I didn't expect it. When I opened the box, I was like, wow, I didn't know they could even make a mistake like this, but they did send me the Platinum Edition by mistake. So thanks a lot, GameStop. Now I'll just have to pick up another regular Dr. Fate for my unopened in-box collection. But pretty cool. I'm not going to open this one for now unless I am able to track down another one. But pretty interesting, fun little adventure today. But of course we are here to add the Hot Pursuit Flash from Injustice 2 to my collection. Now, he does look pretty interesting in the packaging, but let's go ahead and take a closer look at him. But up first, we do take a look at his accessories, which is your basic black standard DC Multiverse stand. Now, this time the DC logo is a little bit askewed, but not really needed, but helpful sometimes. You also get the data file card, a pretty cool image of the actual figure on this one. And on the back, you do have some information. Now, let's compare it to the original release of the Injustice 2 Flash. I really prefer this Hot Pursuit photo to the old one, and on the back they do have a little bit of different information. Pretty cool. Add it to the collection. Now let's go ahead and take a look at them. Starting off, getting it out of the way, this is a basic repaint of the original release, but it is rather interesting, and it does stick out a lot because it's all white, which you don't really see a lot of all white figures. But kind of do like it. I love the head sculpt. Now, the first time this came out, they did say that he had like chipmunk cheeks. Still kind of has a little bit of roundness to it, but I just really love like the kind of like realistic sculpt work that they did on this guy. It's just like a really like lifelike head sculpt. Like, it just looks really awesome. Really cool sculpt work. Now, getting with the articulation, he does look down. He does look up pretty well. Actually, really good. You could turn him from side to side, and then he does have tilt for a little bit of character. Really like this head sculpt, even though it is the same one from the previously released version, but it just looks really crisp and clean. Moving down, you have that awesome Flash symbol on his chest. Really beautiful sculpt work, just detailed sculpt work. You can see all the lines, like on his uniform, the wrinkles, the contour lines. Really awesome sculpt work. I think the sculpt work actually pops out more on this white figure than the original release, which is rather interesting. Moving down to the waist, you have that simple like belt region, and then you have the classic McFarlane waist articulation. You could rock them, you could tilt them, you could lean them forward, lean them back, and then you can twist them to get them in some pretty cool action poses. Like I say, the sculpt work really sticks out in this white color. Really contrasts really well. Moving down to the legs, let's check out his thigh swivel. Now he actually does have a pretty good thigh swivel. Not too much, but you do get a good range, so that's cool. Of course, you could cock it out and then give him those double jointed knees. Now, one thing I will talk about is the pins that are sticking out in the legs. Not too pleasant looking, but those are easily repainted, so it's not a big deal. Moving down to the feet, you do have up and down, you have rocker, and you do have toe articulation. Let's go ahead and take a look at him from the bottom. Not really any tread, but he does have some identifying marks down there. Pretty interesting. Moving up the back, more of that beautiful line work, wrinkle work, sculpt work. Just awesome. It just really stands out in this figure. Really interesting. Pretty cool. Love this design. Now, let's look at the arms real quick. He does have a butterfly shoulder joint. He does have a bicep swivel. He does have double jointed elbows. And he does have wrist articulation. Now, one thing I want to point out with this, besides the really ugly white pin, if I get a chance to paint him and do a little bit of, get a little bit of footage with it, I'll show it right here. But that really makes a difference when you don't have those white pins just really standing out. I think once it's gray, it's going to look really nice. But one thing I want to talk about is the wrist ball joint, because if you remember the Dr. Fate one, they're just really like prominent and ugly. And in this one, they're hidden like so well. Like the transition from the hand into the wrist is just awesome. If you turn it out, you could barely see it. And I mean, McFarlane has open hands. I don't know why he didn't give them to Dr. Fate. And McFarlane can hide the ball joints really well. So I mean, you know, I don't know what the problem is, but it is what it is. All in all, really happy with my Multiverse collection. So pretty cool. Let's go ahead and take a look at this guy with some other figures. Let's bring out the original release, which of course was more dark red with gold. Looking at them next to each other, really like the way that they're like two separate figures, but it's still just a repaint. Even though it is in the video games, it's like a different skin or whatever, the Hot Pursuit Flash. But what I mainly like about it is the way it stands out compared to this one. Now, a couple of pretty interesting repaint ideas is that if you look at all the gold trimming on this Flash, it looks like they could have done it in silver for this one. It's just like a little bit of the piping lines that are gold in this one are not silver on this one. So I might be interested in adding those lines just to see how it makes the figure pop a little bit more. Now that is the original release. Now let's go ahead and bring out the other Flash figures that McFarlane has given us. He did give us your classic Rebirth Flash with like the smirk. Of course, that one was the single release. Pretty cool. And then he did give us the grimacing Flash that was in the 2-pack with, of course, this guy, Red Death from the Dark Knight's Metal. Really love that figure. Awesome, awesome sculpt work on that guy. And then, of course, we do have the gold edition of the Red Death. interesting take on the figure. I'm happy to have him in the collection. Now, pretty quick review because there wasn't too much to this guy. Like I said before, I am interested to see what kind of extra paintwork I could do on him. But for now, that's all. You guys keep hunting out there, keep collecting, keep customizing, and I will see you on the next one.